Guys, we all know what it feels like to be stuck. Feel like you're not making the progress you should, even though you're putting in the work. What are you supposed to do about it?
Today we're talking about how to break through plateaus.
You're listening to the Pathway Podcast, leading you on the path to fitness success. Here are your hosts, Jonathan Canales and Rex Andrews.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Pathway Podcast. I'm Rex.
And I'm Jonathan.
Jonathan, my chair is really squeaky today. I don't like it.
Maybe you're just a squeaky kind of guy today.
I don't know if I appreciate that.
Well, you're the one that chose the squeaky chair.
I guess I did. Squeaky chair or not, today it's a good topic, right? Talking about how to keep that momentum on your side, keep making progress, because I think everybody's had that experience of they start working out, they see a little bit of progress, and then they're doing the exact same thing, and it's just not working anymore, right?
Yeah, you get inside your own head. You're like, is what I'm doing working?
Is this the right thing to do?
Yeah, is this like the most effective use of my time? Because I'm going to the gym for a few hours a week, but don't really feel like I'm making progress as fast as I should. What should I do?
Ain't nobody got time to waste.
No, nobody has time to waste. Everybody's way too busy to be wasting time in the gym.
Yeah, so we want to talk about if you're in that situation, you feel stuck, like what do you do to, one, make sure that it's like actually a plateau, and then how can you make sure that you're continuing to see progress and you don't stay stuck? Because if you have the right strategy, if you have the right game plan, you should never be stuck in the gym. You should never be stuck when it comes to progress. And that doesn't always mean on the scale, right? That could mean strength gains. That could mean like sport-specific training. But you should always be seeing some kind of progress. And if you're not, something's going on with your program, which is kind of what we're going to talk about here today.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like everybody needs that consistent, progressive program, because if not, then you're only going to last so much longer of consistently going when you feel like you're stuck and you're not really seeing those results before you're like, this isn't worth it. I have other things I need to do. And then you just give up, and then you're really not going to see the results you want.
Yeah. Your body is super adaptable. It gets used to what you're doing really fast. I've told this story before, but I remember when I was in high school, when I was on the bus, right before I got my driver's license, there was this guy that we drive by his house every day, and every morning he's out there jumping rope. And he's a pretty big guy. Like, he was definitely trying to lose some weight. And every morning, Monday through Friday, I see him out there skipping rope. And then at first, he's like losing weight. And we're like, oh, this guy's getting it, man. He's doing great. Then after a while, like, he started to gain weight. I'm like, how? Like, dude, you're out here working out every single day. How are you gaining weight, right? It's because your body gets used to what you're doing. And obviously, he didn't have like the right other lifestyle choices happening to like make sure he was seeing the results he wants, right? So we can all get caught in that trap of like, I'm doing everything that I can. This was working before. I don't know why it's working. I don't know why it's not working anymore, right?
Yeah, and I think especially with a lot of our clients who, are 40 plus, it's like what worked for them in their 20s and 30s isn't working anymore. And that's the only thing they really know about working out or health and fitness. So it's just like, doesn't work for me anymore. But really, it's like, okay, your body's changed over time.
Yeah, hormones start to get adjusted, right?
Yeah, so you got to figure out what is the plan that's going to work for me with my current lifestyle and my current body at the age that I'm at.
Yeah, because if you're not accounting for your injuries, you're not accounting for hormones being different or your energy being different, it's not the same. So you can't compare yourself to how you were in your 20s. You just have to be like the best version of yourself right now, right?
Yeah, and I think when you're constantly chasing like, what does the healthiest version of myself look like today? You can start to become aware of when you're like, okay, I've kind of been going through the motions in the gym and I do feel kind of stuck. So instead of giving up and just be like, it didn't work, you start to like ask yourself certain questions to be able to say, well, what can I do to overcome this, break out of this plateau, and keep seeing that progress?
For sure. And that's one of the big things to keep you from getting stuck in plateaus is to base a program around periodization. Periodization has been around since like the 80s. It was invented by this dude in Russia, Dr. Tudor Bompa. That's a
there you go.
Hell of a name, right?
Yeah.
But it's been used by everybody from like Olympic athletes to basically any kind of like serious weightlifters or training uses some kind of periodization, because periodization just basically says for a period of time, we're going to have specific focuses. We're going to get better at those focuses, and then we're going to use the benefits of that change to roll into our next program, which is going to help us get the next level benefits, right? So it's like everything stacks on each other so that we continue to see progress without our body getting used to what we're doing and not doing anything about it, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's really cool once you, kind of like nerding out a little bit, once you get into periodization and you start to really understand the the different phases and the different like parts of it, it's like, oh, okay, cool. I don't need to keep doing the same thing over and over again, and I can switch it up. Maybe not necessarily always changing the exercises every single time, but just your goal during that time period so that your muscles and your body is transforming the way that you want it to in the most efficient way possible.
For sure. And that's the balance of, if you go in every week and you change everything, and you're like, okay, cool, it's bench day. Well, I'm going to do incline press, and then I'll go over here and I'll do flies, and I'll do bench press. You have no way to track like what's actually working, because maybe last week you started with bench press, but this week you did it third. And so you're like, man, last week I was way stronger. Why? Probably because you didn't do 3 exercises before you got there, right? So you have no way to see, like, am I getting stronger? Am I getting better at this move? So the way the periodization works is go, hey, okay, this is our specific focuses for this phase, whether we're working on muscular endurance, whether we're trying to build muscle mass with hypertrophy, or we're trying to get like max strength going, right? And so you take like 3 to 6 weeks and say, this is my plan. These are the exercises that I'm going to do. I'm going to track to make sure that I'm getting better at these things over this period of time. Typically, like 6 weeks is where we like cap out. The first week, it's always uncomfortable because you have to like get used to the movements. You have to like feel what it feels like to have like that level of fatigue going into stuff. Second week, you're like, oh, wow, it's a little bit better than it was last week.
Yeah.
Third week, like, man, I'm a pro at this. And then you can kind of like edge out progress week to week to week. And then week 5 and 6, I don't know about you, if I do something for 6 weeks, I'm pretty bored with it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what's so cool about, because some people might be saying, dude, like doing the same workout for 3 to 4 weeks is just a lot of the same stuff. But when you can see yourself getting stronger and getting more competent at the movements, it gets you a little bit more excited about it, because you're like, oh, cool, I can see that I got stronger here, or I can see that, you know, what the goal is I'm improving at. But then when you're like, okay, I'm kind of plateauing here, it's been about 4 weeks and I'm not really making an improvement, that's your body telling you, hey, we're ready for some change, we're ready for that next phase. And it's crazy because anytime you enter into that next phase, no matter how long you've been working out, sometimes it takes you back to like that first week where you started working out, and then you're just so sore. It's like, oh, I wasn't ready for this. Yeah. Your body's like, this is very different.
It's like anytime you do something like a new demand, but you push it to like failure, right? You're going to get so sore because your body just like not doing things normally. Soreness is not the best indicator of a good workout, right? Yeah. We hear that all the time of like, people are like, oh, I just want to feel dead after a workout. I want to feel like I can't move. Like that does not mean you got a good workout in.
Yeah.
And that's where having the same workout week to week is so helpful, because you can see I'm not sore. I can function throughout my day, but I am getting stronger. I am getting better at this. I am moving better. I'm balancing better. So it's like finding other ways to define success other than just the scale makes it way easier to track progress and say like, okay, am I actually plateauing, or am I just too random with my exercises?
Yeah. And I think, you know, for a lot of our listeners and for a lot of our clients especially, it's like they, might have like a weight loss goal, but they're just like blown away by how empowering it feels to like get stronger and like just actually be able to do functional things throughout the week, whether it's just like picking up stuff that you needed to like take to the attic or whatever, and just being like, oh man, like that used to be really heavy, but now I can do that way easier because your body's been, you know, challenged to do more in the gym, and now it's reacting to your everyday life, and now you're just stronger in what you're doing. So not only is it like all about weight loss all the time, but sometimes it's just like, I want to be healthier and stronger and more prepared for life. And, you know, going through a program that has periodization is the best way to do that.
For sure, for sure. You know, there's always a next level. I remember I had been training for a few years when we started working out together, and that's how we met. Was we did this summer workout program. I was training at this gym in Kingwood, and I was training with Dr. Amy Frugier. Shout out, Dr. Amy Frugier.
Shout out.
The best of physical therapy in Salt Lake City, Utah, right?
There we go.
But she's hardcore. She was like a karate champion, a rock climber. She did like all these different things.
She gave me a black eye once.
I'm sure she did. You probably deserved it.
Yeah,
but I decided I was going to do this program from Joe DeFranco, who he has the Industrial Strength podcast. He trains a lot of NFL athletes, and it was called Strong Bastard 911. I'm like, that sounds like
with that kind of name.
That's
it's
what
like,
I want to do.
It's going to be exciting.
Exactly. And yeah, so it was a program that had like 3 phases, and you're working out 4 days per week. And they were like short workouts, like 5 exercises. It was like endurance, strength, power. That was it. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to do it this summer. And Amy found out I was doing it. Like, cool, I'm going to do it. And then she invited you to join us. And we're like 4 days a week. It's only like 5 exercises. How hard can this be?
Yeah.
We quickly found out.
It was very difficult.
It was so hard. Like, it was like such short, specific things, but they were intended to like make you push yourself all the way to the limit with each focus. And I remember like I had been training for a few years. I'd gotten people great results and stuff. And like I knew how to write workouts well, but I was like, this is a whole different level. And sometimes it's really good to be exposed to like a whole different level specific to you so that you can go like, okay, cool. There's like, I got a lot of room to grow here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's fun to like push yourself to a new level and see what your body's capable of. But that doesn't mean that every single workout you're going to the gym and all the time you're constantly like needing to push yourself to failure and that sort of thing, because your body just can't handle that all the time, day in and day out with each exercise that you're doing. So that's why it's fun to like have those specific goals of the workout and like really push yourself for that 1 or 2 things, but knowing, okay, I really exerted myself here. So if I don't go to failure or really push myself in other aspects of the workout, that's why, and I don't have to.
For sure. And same thing along with that. If you've been pushing yourself for like a few months and your body just feels wore out and you're like, man, I was feeling so strong. I was feeling like really good. Sometimes you just have to deload. You have to give yourself just a little bit of time to recover, which is cool. Like now Apple Watches and like I have a Whoop, they keep track of your recovery, which is basically if you wake up and you have an elevated heart rate, that means your body's like, something's up. Like I gotta chill a little bit. So having like, sometimes it's just good to just give yourself a deload week where you go in and you just have like moderate level workouts. Maybe you go for like light jogs or you do yoga or something like that to give yourself that, just kind of recuperation time so that you can come in with peak performance into the next phase, into your next week. UFC fighters, they bust their ass through training camp for like 12 weeks, right? But like 2 weeks before their fight, they don't do anything. It is all just recovery because like they are in the shape they need to be. They just have to let their body recover so they can be at peak performance, not wear themselves down to the edge.
Yeah, and I think that's where like the more time you spend strength training and working out, the more aware you become of how your body actually feels during like different aspects of a training program. So when you start to feel super worn down, you get to ask yourself some questions of, you know, is this like I've just been pushing it to the limit for too long and my body telling me like, hey, let's take some time off? Because not only physically that can be beneficial, but like mentally and emotionally it can be beneficial. Because sometimes when you're constantly just pushing yourself to the limit all the time, it's like, well, I want to do things that are fun. Maybe I'll go play golf or play tennis or do different things like that. I don't have to push myself to an extreme, but I can give myself that time to recover and then be better for it whenever I get back to whatever program I'm on.
Absolutely. You got to enjoy your movement for sure. That's how we stay in the game, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think that's a big thing is if you're going through a very intense program and you're just miserable going through it, sore all the time, and just like not looking forward to the workouts ever, how likely are you to be consistent with it over a long period of time? And we know way more than anything else, consistency is the thing that's going to lead us to our goals.
Consistency wins. Always.
Are you a winner? Are you consistent?
Yeah. It's like, do you like money? Do you like goals? Yes. But, and again, that's why it's really good to have workouts that are defined for like, hey, this period of time, this is what I'm working on. Because maybe that first week you go in and it's tough, but you know that you're getting better at it. And it doesn't feel like if you're just randomly picking exercises, like one, you don't know like, hey, is this the right thing for me? Is it working? But then two, like you can't see your progress. But if you feel like you're making progress, if you feel like the time that you're dedicating is getting you closer to your goal, it's going to be way easier to show up. And you're going to be excited about, man, like this is the progress I made from last week to this week. What am I going to do next week, right? And it keeps pushing you forward when you have those things that you can like see working. So defining like, what am I working on in this phase helps break through plateaus and helps make it like way clear, is what I'm doing working or do I need to recalibrate what I'm working on here?
Yeah, and just a quick thing I want to say about like deloading in general and like being aware of your body. usually it's not like you go back to the gym and you have a really tough week of working out and you're like, man, that was tough. I need a deload week. So it's going to be like more time period like of you consistently following a program than just like a few days and you feeling worn out. That might just be like, okay, maybe I need to take a rest day here and let my body recover so I feel better, versus like when you are deloading, it's like, okay, I've been consistently pushing it week and week after for a while now, and maybe I need a little week where it's a little bit more moderate, versus just like my body's worn down because I've had 3 back-to-back workouts, and I just need to take a rest day.
Yeah, when we did that Strong Bastard program from Joe DeFranco, It was like, do this Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. Got it. And then I think that first Wednesday rolled around and we're all like, I feel pretty good. You feel good? Like, but let's go work out. Yeah. So it went up. We had this like really intense workout. The next day, like as soon as our workout started, we're all like, that was a really bad idea. Yeah. Like, we were exhausted. We couldn't push ourselves in the workout. Just totally beat us down.
Yeah, I think it was Dr. Amy Fruget's fault. I think she had like something to do, so we had to like move it around. Like, it won't be that big of a deal.
No, it was definitely we're adding a day, because I remember like, do not add a day. Just follow the program. Like, do what they say do.
4 days is enough.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's really important too. Sometimes, like understanding like why your program is the way that it is, and like giving yourself the time that you need. Sometimes I'll see people do crazy stuff. Well, they'll go like hard leg day, which is like super taxing, right? Then they'll do a big back day, which is giant muscle group, really taxing. And then they'll go and they'll try to do like heavy push and then go right back to legs. I'm like, man, you just hit like all your major muscle groups back to back to back and gave your body no time to recover. Maybe you have the energy to do that, but it's going to add up. It's going to tax you. So figure out what works for you. Figure out like what has you feeling your best, because none of us are professional bodybuilders. If you are, cool. I don't know why you're listening to this podcast. This is more for like regular folks. But if you're regular folks, you want to work out because you want to feel better. You want to look better. You want to be more confident in the shape you're in. But you also have a regular life that you got to live in. So if your workouts are leaving you where you can't get up off the toilet, that's a problem. Like you got to be able to function throughout your day and go in and push yourself in workouts.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. It's like finding that program that fits your lifestyle and allows you to see those consistent results.
That's it. And last thing on this is just like recognize that sometimes what feels like a plateau could just be that pushback of us trying to get to a new level. I know my wife and I have been doing this new style of meal prepping, which this is going to be some cool stuff we're rolling out to our clients in the next few months. But we've been pushing it pretty hard and like staying really consistent with our diet. And this past weekend, it was brutal of the cravings and the energy and just like wanting to eat more. And I know it's just my body not used to getting fewer calories for a couple weeks at a time. So it's just going like, hey, I need more calories. But it doesn't. That's just me tapping into my fat stores. But if I give into that, I'm not going to lose the body fat, right? I'm going to be stuck in the same position I'm always in. So you have to be okay tightening the screws and realize that like if you're pushing yourself to a new level, if you're doing something you've never done before, it's going to be uncomfortable because your body is not used to it at all. But your body's very adaptable. You can adjust quick. So be okay being uncomfortable for short periods of time when you know the game plan you're doing is going to work for you in the long run.
Yeah, and I think with that, like tightening of the screws, it's also just like learning what you need to fuel yourself for the workouts. Because like sometimes whenever you're going through a strength training program and you are just like, I'm not getting enough fuel at all. Like maybe you're only eating like 1,400 calories and still trying to work out like 3 to 5 times a week. Then you can be like, why am I tired? Maybe I'm not eating enough. And then you can add in some stuff that's like healthy, clean, but just going to help you fuel those workouts a little bit better. So if you are like, I don't know, that seems like a lot to like, well, what should I tighten? What should I not? Then that's when you should probably just hire a coach and
get some help.
Have somebody be like, oh, this is what you need to do. And then you can have that bridge to getting to the result even faster.
Yeah. Just know how to work hard at the right things. You don't have to work hard at everything. But that's it for us this time on the Pathway Podcast, guys. There are no plateaus. You just got to break through them. You got to have a better game plan.
Yeah, get a better like sledgehammer and just break through those plateaus.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, like when you broke through the wall.
I need a better sledgehammer.
Yeah, that's true. All right, that's it for us this time on the Pathway Podcast, guys. Guys, if you want to check out this book, go to mypathwaytraining.com/book. Get Executing Fitness Success, the busy man's guide to getting back in shape fast. Other than that, we'll see you guys here next time on the Pathway Podcast.